The guest of my program, author, you are the author of your life, is a Hollywood actor based in Los Angeles, California, Deep Roy. He started his film career in 1976 in Blake Edwards' film, The Pink Panther Strikes Again. He hasn't looked back since. Today, Deep Roy has numerous impressive creative collaborations under his belt. Hello, Deep. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
How is the coronavirus pandemic affecting a part of the world where you are right now?
Well, Los Angeles is the epicenter here, but it's getting better and it will get better. But one must remember, you got to wear a mask and keep the distance. And that's is all about, you know, but things will get better and they normally do.
Excellent. You broke in and remained active for many years in one of the toughest industries. In one of your interviews, you once said that Hollywood is a particularly hard place where one can reach success. Nevertheless, you made it and you did it your way. I would like to talk to you about it today. I would like to start by asking you a question about your childhood and upbringing. I think that the formative years of our life are very important. It's the time when our perception of the world is formed and we are learning who we are and we're discovering the world. Events which take place in our childhood and how we perceive them often influence our future life in a big way. Another reason why I want to talk to you today about it is because right now we're living through a special moment when parents spend a lot of time with their children, much more than usual. Families are together. You were born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya, in an Indian family. You had many siblings. What kind of relationships did you have with your brothers and sisters?
We're a very close family. You know, my dad came from India. I was born in Africa, Nairobi in Kenya. I had a wonderful life as growing up as a kid. We all went to private schools. I was lucky enough, you know, my dad spent a lot of money to educate all of us. But education is the main thing, you know, and he wanted me to be an accountant. Because he was a successful business person. So he sent me to London to study accountancy. I was studying accountancy, but I kept failing in taxation, or I'll fail in company law. In accountancy, you got to pass all your exams in one sitting. And I did that for a couple of years, and it was too boring. So I gave that up, and I joined the drama school. And this was in London. And then I quit the drama school in 3 months. And my dad said to me, now what next? I said, I want to be a comedian. And he said to me, it's a joke. That's how I started in stand-up comedy. That's when I met my agent, my managers in London. And my first television appearance was, I did a New Avengers. With Patrick McNee and Joanna Lumley and Garrett Hunt. That was my first television appearance, followed by Doctor Who, which I did in 1976. It all started in 1975, 1976. But before that, I did 4 years of stand-up comedy. Everything started in 1971. I did it for 4 years. And like I said, the first appearance was television, then Doctor Who, followed by the feature you mentioned with Blake Seven, my first feature in 1976. So this is how I started.
So the career you chose was not an easy one, quite on the contrary. What made you believe at that time that you would succeed?
Well, I always had, you know, one has to work. But then again, I didn't know that I want to make it in the movie industry till I met the agent that started getting me the work. That's how I started. But then again, let me say something to you, because success can't be measured. Success can't be measured. It's the respect that counts.
That's
And
very
I respect
interesting.
each and every one, I do. But then again, what's a success to me doesn't mean success to other ones, you know. And success to me, everybody has a different view of success. It's about contentment, and I'm content. Your mind says more, more, more. Your heart says no, no, no. And when you're in sync, I'm not saying I'm in sync. I'm trying, and it's about contentment.
So there must be some rules you learned when you were little, because I know that your father was a very successful businessman. And when you decided that you wanted to be an actor, in a way, you took him as a role model. And probably there were some rules your father was following, and you probably observed him as a child, and you adopted those rules in your life, the attitude which you carried on, which helped you uh, to be successful at the end. Correct?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you have to look towards the guidance, and even though nobody guided me into showbiz, I did it myself. But you look at guidance which he brought in. We were all brought up in a nice way. My dad used to say to me, "Be nice. You got nothing to lose." You know,
Right.
and then I added, success can't be measured. I keep repeating myself. It's the respect that counts. But then again, it's the upbringing, and I respect each and every one, and that's the way I look at it.
And probably confidence he gave you, because I've watched some of your interviews, and I've learned that for 10 years you were given special pills to grow, and you grew to 4 feet 4. And when you reached the age of 16, you said something to your father which brought tears to his eyes. What was it?
Yes, I know, but then again, he spent a lot of money on me to make me grow taller. I was 3 feet 8 inches tall when I started taking that treatment. I grew up to be 4 feet 4. And I was 16 years old. And I said to my dad, "You've done so much for me. I am 6'5". And he said, "Come and give me a hug." And I gave him a hug. And that's just when he sent me to London for further education. I've never looked back. Height is immaterial to me. I always think in my mind, I'm 6'5". I always do that. But it doesn't matter to me. Why it doesn't matter to me? Because it's the material, whether you're tall, short, good looking, bad looking, it doesn't matter. It's the heart that counts.
It's all in your head at the end. You're absolutely right. It's the way you see yourself. That's the way other people see you. Absolutely. And I think your father and your family and your siblings and your mother, they really gave you a lot of support, treated you as equal, loved you. And I think that gave you a lot of confidence for life, which really made you to believe that whatever profession you choose, you will succeed if you apply certain rules, work hard, be respectful. And I think it's a great lesson, because we're learning lessons here. This is a program where, when we are learning from people, and our guests are sharing their tricks, their stories.
Well,
Um,
let me say something. Who I am to teach anyone. I'm still learning myself. And I am still. Till, and I still do, I'm not above anyone. I'm not. I'm just an ordinary guy. But then again, if I can do it, everyone can do it.
You are an ordinary guy with extraordinary life, and let's talk a little bit about that. So the film in 1976, a role of an Italian assassin in Blake Edwards' movie, The Pink Panther Strikes Again. You are on the set with highly praised Blake Edwards, who directed the film, and Peter Sellers, who was quite well known for his previous works at that time already. Was it overwhelming? Did you learn anything from that work which was useful for your future acting career?
Well, the thing is, as it was my first feature, and I was so lucky to work with Blake Edwards and and Peter Sellers, and of course I do. Every job you work, you learn something. And for me, was I nervous? Of course, I was nervous to work with such a big actor and an amazing director. But I got along with them, even if it was a small part. But then again, it helped me, to learn something, which Peter Sellers was a very funny guy. I thought he was the best comedian, in my opinion, to do the comedy roles that he did. Because the guy can do any accent, you name it, and he will do it. And he was very funny and a very nice guy.
Brilliant. I think many of us would agree with that. And although your role was small, it already was quite noticeable. And I think a lot of people would remember you from that role. So it was a great start. But since that, you played in some movies and television series directed by famous film directors alongside with big movie stars. Looking at your filmography, there was almost not 1 year when you were not working. And some of those productions became very popular, had huge followings. The Empire Strikes Back, Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, The Never Ending Story, Hook by Steven Spielberg, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, The X-Files, 4 films by Tim Burton, including Big Fish, Charley and the Chocolate Factory, and many others. I have to say, it's an impressive list. How did you manage to get into these films? Do you put it down to luck or hard work, or do we create our own luck by developing special connections to people, with people having certain ethics in life and work? What's your approach?
Well, the thing is, actually, you got to have an agent and a manager to guide you, and obviously, they get me the job. This is what it is. But then again, this is how I started. But once I got going, like I did the first movie with Tim Burton, which was Planet of the Apes, and I never asked anyone to give me a job. I've never done that. I never will do that. But it all started with Planet of the Apes and with Tim Burton. I've done 4 movies with Tim Burton: Planet of the Apes, Big Fish, Charley and the Chocolate Factory, and I did a voiceover for Cope's Bride. And I thought Tim is an amazing guy. He asked me, to appear in Big Fish. It was only like few lines, a small part, but then again he said he changed his mind, and I became like a sidekick to Danny DeVito, and that's how he developed. And then he asked me to do Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and he said you'll be playing 4 Oompa Loompas. 4 turned out to be 7, and then they wanted 7 people to dance with me, and they couldn't find 7 to dance with me. So I turned around, I said, I do it myself. He said to me, I got to give you a camera test. And I said, why give me a camera test? He said, you got to keep a distance between you and yourself. So he said, you got to pick up a song that's not in the script. So I picked a song. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone, which is a Tom Jones song. And I would 7 this way and 7 that way. And he said, you got to keep equal distance. I said, why equal distance? He said, Oompa Loompas is like a regiment. They always do things very precisely. So to cut the long short story, I did the camera test. It worked. And even though I'm not a singer or a dancer, that's the hardest movie I've done physically and mentally. To dance and to sing, it's tough. You got to coordinate. And plus, I played 165 individual Oompa Loompas. I'll do one Oompa Loompa, I'll do another one, I'll do another one, I'll do another one. So I did 165 in the whole movie. Somebody told me that. I didn't count that, and it was one of the hardest movies. But then again, I did Star Wars, I did Star Trek, I did Doctor Who. The only actor that has done that is Simon Pegg. He's done all these three, So, and I've been very lucky work-wise, and and I'm still working, and hopefully something will happen once this virus is done with, because the film industry at the moment is at a standstill. But things will get better, and they will. They normally do.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. We have some questions actually for you related to this extraordinary work you've done and Charley and the Choclate Factory, because I think it's a film which has been extremely successful and adored by a lot of people. Stephanie Lacroix from Switzerland is saying, for me, Deep Roy is a wonderful actor. I'm really impressed by his various movies and characters. Deep Roy is definitely a part of success of Tim Burton's films. How did they meet?
Well, I met Tim through Rick Baker, who does the makeup special makers. He's won 6 Academy Awards. He introduced me to Tim Burton on Planet of the Apes. That's how I met Tim Burton on Planet of the Apes. The rest is history. I done 4 movies after that. He liked me, so hey, I did 4 movies with him.
Yes,
so that's how I met him.
I know you created special relationship with Tim Burton, and well, I love his works. As you know, I even tried to bring the exhibition Tim Burton's World to Switzerland, because I think his sketches, his drawings are extraordinary. He's really a very talented guy, and he said that himself, that your work in that film, Charley and Choclate Factory, was the hardest job in that movie. That these were the words of Tim Burton himself, because as far as I know, you had to train as a mountaineer, learn how to cut hair, do different types of dance, to sing, play musical instruments, etc., etc. As you just said, which is pretty amazing. And I think Stephanie also says that you brought a lot of magic to this film, remaining human. I think it's a big quality, and this is actually your quality, Deep, because that's actually what you do when you participate in films. And I have another question from a young lady from India, Soumya Jarat Judhir, who is a big fan of yours, as well as a big fan of chocolate, I suppose, because Soumya is asking, was any of the chocolate shown in the original movie, especially during the Oopma Loompas song, real? And if so, were all the actors constantly snacking on it?
Well, there was parts of it was real, and there was a real chocolate. When they did the test, they asked me to test the chocolate, which I ate. Tim said to me, I said, test, not eat all of it, which I did when they were testing. But someone was real, someone wasn't not real. They showed us which was a real, which was not real. So to answer her question, some were real, some were not real. And let me say one thing. Thank you, Stephanie, for asking the first question from Switzerland. I thank her. Thank you, Stephanie. And the lady that asked a question from India, thank you for asking that too. I hope I answered your question, because some were real, some weren't real. But it was a real chocolate.
Brilliant. Next question is from Julien Boucher from France. Among all the great directors with whom you had an opportunity to work, who was the one who impressed you the most, and why?
That's a very good question. They are all great directors. You're asking me if I like a BMW or Mercedes. I can't pick. All directors are different. I mean, since he asked the question, whoever asked a question from France, in my opinion, I think Tim Burton is an amazing director. the reason I said that, why? Because he's the only director that has done the animation and features together. No other director has done that. And plus, he's a great illustrator, great artist, and I think he is. But then, they're all good. I worked with J.J. Abrams on 3 movies on Star Trek. He's an amazing, exceptional director. I worked with Wolfgang Peterson on 2 movies, another great director. Blake Edwards, another amazing director. Um, uh, I did also work with Michael Bay, another amazing director. So they're all great. They're all different. But since he asked me this question, I think Tim Burton's, in my opinion, because he's a actress director. He doesn't do that many takes.
Yes, he is amazing. I would agree with you that you were extremely lucky with the directors you worked with and the extraordinary life for that. On Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you worked very closely with Johnny Depp. You told me before that you appreciate him a lot as a person. I know both of you are bon vivant, as they say in France. You both enjoy life. Are there any stories you would like to share with us today about Johnny and you, which took place on screen or off screen?
Well, Johnny has been an amazing friend, amazing actor. He's a great musician. He told me he always wanted to be a rock star. I said to you, you are a rock star. Look at him. They formed a band called Hollywood Vampires. They perform all over the world. They got bigger audiences than anyone I've ever seen. And talking about off the screen, we were all invited in 2009 to go to the White House by President Obama, which we did. And Johnny was there and all that. And Tim asked me and Johnny, and somebody was getting married, if I can go and kiss the bride. And I said to me, I can't go and kiss the bride. And I said, I'm drinking red wine. Johnny said to me, come on, I can give you some martinis. So I started drinking martinis. He said, would you like to go and kiss the bride now? Tim said to me. I said, no, I don't want to. And Johnny said to me, I'll come and join you. And which he did. I went there and kissed the bride. Tim took the photographs. Then I introduced Johnny to the wedding party, and the rest is history. And this was in Washington, D.C. that we did in 2009.
Amazing. I see how you guys can have some fun. So, that's when a few friends get together and, people who have the approach in life where they stay humble and down to earth and have a good sense of humor. That party when you were invited with Tim Burton and main actors from the film Alice in Wonderland to the White House, it was Obama's secret Alice in Wonderland themed Halloween party. What was it like? Did you have a chance to meet Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, their daughters?
Yes, of course I did. They were amazing. But the reason they did that party was because they did a Halloween party. The parents that have lost the kids that have lost their parents in 2 wars in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And that's the reason they did the Halloween party. And at that time, Tim Burton was doing Alice in Wonderland, and he hasn't finished the movie. So this was an amazing thing that we did.
Wonderful. Great. So you had a great experience meeting President Obama and his family. Oh, wonderful. Next question is from England, from John Godelis. Are you ever concerned about what impact the characters you portray have on society stereotypes? Have you ever turned parts down when you felt that there was discrimination or misrepresentation? If so, tell us about it.
Well, I haven't been discriminated or all that, but I did turn down Lord of the Rings, the movie in New Zealand. A, it was too long. B, it was 18 months they want me there. And I'm glad I did that. If I would have taken Lord of the Rings, I wouldn't have met Tim Burton. So there you go, you know. So by turning that down, I met Tim Burton. I did X-Files. I did the big commercials. So it's part. I always wanted to work with Ron Howard, another amazing director, and I worked with him. So by turning a lot of the Rings, these things happened to me. But I've never been discriminated. I have never been.
Right. You told me before about the stigma you sometimes suffer from in show business because you are different. Can you talk about it? I think there was some progress in that area in the last few years, or am I wrong?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what you mean by stigma, you know, like against me or...
Yeah, against you. You said that once one reporter wrote not a nice article, you know,
Yes,
about you.
yes, because in Hollywood Reporter, he kept asking me that he wanted to write. I said, but then again, don't write something, he's small, he's fat, he's this and that, and don't put a label on one, which he said he won't do that. But then again, he did, because I don't like the terminology when writers think he's a midget, he's a dwarf. I don't like that terminology. I don't like those words, because we are equal. It doesn't matter whether you're tall, short, you know, but you don't put a label on people, stigma on people. You don't call them he's a dwarf, he's a midget. You don't do that.
No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. This is wrong. And that's why I really wanted to bring it up, because I think people have to pay
Well,
attention.
but then again, he wrote a nice article. Don't get me wrong. He
Right.
did. But
Okay.
then again, he did, you know, so yes.
But, you know, the words, we have to be careful. We have to pay attention to the words we use. That's right. You never played in any Bollywood movies. Is there a reason for that? Because you are from a family of Indian origin, and how come? You've done all these big movies in Hollywood and other parts of Europe, but never in Bollywood.
Very good question. I always want to go to Bollywood. I want to do Bollywood movies. I want to go to Bollywood. I've got an idea which one to do. If the listeners are listening, if there are producers or directors that are listening in Bollywood, I'd love to come and work with you guys. You know, and I've got an idea, a Bollywood idea, that I want to do a movie. And if there's someone listening over there, please get in touch. And I always want to do the Bollywood movie. Yes, I want to.
Great. Okay, we hope that this interview will bring you some exposure to India, because we know that there are some people who are going to listen to this interview from India, and we have many friends there. So let's hope that Bollywood will hear Deep Roy's calling. And please share with us what other interest activities you have besides acting. I know you are a man of many activities and hobbies. Can you share them with us?
Well, first of all, I do love artwork, you know, because watching Tim Burton, that's what I learned from him. I like to go to the art studios and art galleries. I'm a big fan of wine. I collect wines. I love red wine. I drink white wine, but red wine is my personal choice. I love food. I do. I want to do a show based upon, I want to do a travel show. It's my own idea. And it's called Deep Into Food, which is food and wine. Meet the chefs, go to different countries and do all that, you know. And I hope I answered your question. This is my passion. I love food and wine and people.
Excellent. Sounds great. Deep Into Food. I love the name of the show. I can see how successful it can be. So I wish you lots of luck to bring this project into life. So that was another question I had about your projects. So you gave us some taste of what you are doing right now. Is there a dream role you would like to play?
Well, first of all, I like to do the Bollywood movies. That's another dream. Secondly, I love to do a James Bond movie where I want to play the villain. I'm not a nasty person, but I think I'll give James Bond a good run for his money.
I think it's great. And I think it would work very well. I can see that. This program is called, yeah, go on.
But I'm not an evil person. Don't get me wrong.
No, you are.
I want to play a villain. I think I'll give a James Bond a good run for his money.
I think you are a good actor. So, you know, a person, actor is two different things, right? So that's the role you want to play. I think we appreciate that. This program is called Author. You are the author of your life. If you had to give a title to your book of life, what would it be? What is your life motto?
Enjoy while you can. You know, no one is above anyone. Enjoy life. Life is this short. You never know when you're going to breathe from here to there. So enjoy while you can. You know, and that's what I can say. But then again, life is amazing. Let me say, I think life is wonderful. Everyone is amazing, in my opinion.
That, I think, is the title of your life. Life is wonderful and everyone is amazing. I've heard that before from you, and I think this is something you live by. And as a result, you have lots of friends. You're greatly appreciated in the industry. You've been lucky by being in great films with fantastic film directors and actors. And I think you still have so much to look forward to. So we really wish you all the best of luck for all your undertakings. Is there anything you want to add, Deep, before we wrap it up?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. It was a pleasure and a privilege to do this interview with you. And secondly, I want to wish everybody all the best. I know we are going through bad times, but then again, good times are coming. Be nice to each other and keep the distance, wear the mask. This is just a temporary phase we're going through. And be nice, be well. Love you, all of you guys. Be safe, be healthy, be good to each other. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your positive and forward-looking attitude. And I'm sure we will meet again, and hopefully something great will come out of this interview for you and for our viewers, who I'm sure would appreciate this moment with Deep Roy from LA, California. Thank you so much. And goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me, and wish you all the best.
I hope you enjoyed this edition. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We have interviews with other great guests on its way. To make this program fully beneficial and enjoyable for you, I invite you to become co-creators of it. I announce in advance my next guests on my social media platforms. You can connect to a platform of your choice, write your questions, and don't forget to mention your name and location. The most interesting questions will be asked during interviews on your behalf. You can also let me know who you want to see in our next editions. For now, stay safe, stay positive. Until next time.